Wrinkles, wrinkles, wrinkles everywhere. Get out, wrinkles, wrinkles.
Today, we're talking about the biggest change that we never expected when moving to Disney World.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dan and Leslie here again with another update about moving to Orlando. If you haven't seen our previous video series, check it out. We had a lot of thoughts about moving down. We had a lot of ideas about what it would be like, a lot of which actually came true. So different things like the kids adjusting to school, that actually has worked out fairly well, a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah, and really faster than I was expecting too. So, I mean, of course, we all hope that, you know, they show up the first day and make friends, but it took a little bit of time, and they both still admittedly miss Oklahoma. They miss their friends. They miss our family. I don't think that'll ever go away. I mean, honestly, like, I miss our friends and family too in Oklahoma, but we all have agreed and talked that we do really, truly love living here.
Okay, so before we get to the biggest change that we never anticipated coming to Disney World, the studio is coming along. I'm looking at this giant sun beam of light right here. So next week, the next episode, we are going to do a tour. It is not going to be 100% done. We thought about doing it today, but it is just a complete disaster zone. We've been doing projects.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a couple of projects right now, so
literally, yeah, we have to go to Lowe's right now.
Yeah.
We gotta go to Lowe's. But we've done a lot of really cool stuff that you can't see in the frame right here. So next week, we're gonna take you on behind the scenes, how we turned our supposedly dining room into a recording studio. So we do our podcast here. Oh, good plug for the podcast.
Yeah, so if you haven't checked out the podcast, we record and publish twice weekly on Sundays and Wednesdays. That's called Addicted to the Mouse. Check it out. If you like us, you like these videos, I guarantee you'll like those because it's a little deeper dive. You get to know a little bit more about us and our family.
We decided to turn our dining room into a recording studio because we never actually had a great place to just sit and record, which has been great because we could just sit in here and record.
So it would legit take, I don't know, half an hour to get everything set up, moving furniture if it wasn't nice outside, getting the lighting just right. I mean, it just took forever.
I've got a gear wall going over on the right,
really
which
cool.
it actually is. It's not quite done yet, so hopefully that'll be done next week. But I am super excited about this, and we've done a lot of stuff in the rest of the house. We've replaced hardware, added lights. We're in the middle of hanging curtains in the living room, so hopefully we get all that done this week, and we can do that.
And our Harry Potter room.
Harry Potter room. The biggest change moving down here that we never anticipated is our social life.
Yes. So I am, if you can't tell, I'm a self-proclaimed extrovert for sure.
She is a social butterfly.
I can talk to anybody. I can make friends. I mean, we will randomly be standing in line and I'll walk away with a new friend and the kids always say, "Mom, how do you do that? We don't get it."
I am not that way. I enjoy talking to a camera and talking on a podcast, but if you stick me in a room by myself with a book or a phone or something, I am happy to just kind of retreat into my own self. I am very much an introvert. I can be extroverted, but it does take a lot of energy to do that. And so we've been married for almost 20 years now. We have never had social lives like the last almost 3 months.
Yeah.
And it is awesome and crazy at the same time, but it was only the move that made this change.
Yeah, and it's not to say that, we have friends back in Oklahoma, we would get together with people, but whenever you're working a 9-to-5 job, it's exhausting during the week. You go to work, and so to think about doing things like on a weeknight was always just a little, it just didn't sound like a whole lot of fun to go out, and then we would always have to get home at a decent time to get kids to bed and showered and all that stuff. And so then for the first 15 years of our together life, Dan was in the military, and so 1 week in a month and 2 weeks out of the year were devoted to Army, and he never wanted to really do anything on the weekend before or after He went away because he was exhausted on the weekend after, and he was like prepping to be exhausted for the weekend before.
A few things kind of all came together to make this perfect storm. And the reason we are telling you this is because if you are considering a move to live next to Disney World, a lot of these will happen to you as well. So, number one, we moved here to grow our business, Fantastical Vacations. It is a concierge travel agency that specializes in Disney, Universal, cruise lines, and all-inclusive resorts. And so we
check it out if you're interested.
Check it out. If you do come down here and you have a love of Disney, whether your business centers around Disney like ours does, or whether you just want to be in the parks, like you want to be in the parks, you want to create content, if not for, everyone on your social media channels, if only for yourself, like you want to be there.
We have scheduled days pretty much every week that we are going into the parks, and we're actively, seeking out that content. We're doing podcast updates. We're getting video for the YouTube channel. We're doing those things, which, puts us out and about in the Disney World area as well as Universal.
We want to also maximize our investment of annual passes, really why we moved here. So if we didn't want to do that, then why would we have even come, really? So that's number one. Like if you want to move to be close to the parks, you're going to be in the parks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily require a giant investment every time you go. If you already have your annual pass, if you just don't buy their expensive food and drinks, then you can go pretty cheaply.
Oh yeah, and outside of, say, like the first day of Flower and Garden or the first day of Mardi Gras, our visits to the parks are no more than like 4 hours, usually max.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 to 4 hours. We're popping in, we're doing a couple of things, and then we're leaving.
But you can't help but be social with people. I mean, you meet people,
Yeah.
People will talk to you, you will talk to cast members, whether you're waiting in line or ordering some food or whatever, like you are social there. We knew that was gonna happen. However, leaving our homes resulted in two simultaneous things that we kind of knew indirectly but didn't realize how big it would be. So one is that we were leaving our friends and family and we needed to start making plans to go back and see them. The other is that we were moving to the vacation capital of the United States, and everyone that you know comes here and wants to see you, which is
amazing.
But going from a social life where we didn't really leave the house to now, like,
You make us sound like hermits.
we were hermits. We were pretty close to hermits. Like we would go on vacations, but then we were home. Like we really didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we did like to be home.
So the first thing that happens is you come here, and as you're leaving, you're starting to make plans about how are you going to get back and see these people that you love. And you've got family and friends, in our case, in the same location. Your kids have friends. They want to see people. And so you know that you're going to have to, or at least want to, get back maybe a couple times a year. And so immediately whenever we came here, we started making those plans.
Well, and it just so happened that both of my nieces are getting married this year, so that's going to be actually 2 visits back to our hometown area in order to go to their weddings.
Hello, Thea. So then we've got everyone that we know that is coming to Orlando that wants to reach out and say hi, which is amazing, but that further opens up that social calendar. And so it has been the biggest adjustment that, if I think back to pre-moving, it definitely isn't a deterrent. It's not a bad thing.
No.
It's just I didn't expect to this level that our social life would be like this degree of not involved, but active, I guess is the right word. And it's really, really fun. But at the same time, I'm like, how are we spending so much time being social? Because we never used to be social. And it's not like we didn't like people, but it just, all of a sudden, we're social people.
I think it's a little more jarring and shocking for Dan than it is for me. It's an adjustment.
It's an adjustment. It's a wonderful adjustment, but it is an adjustment. So all that to say, I think if you are looking to come to a vacation destination, whether it is Orlando or whether it is somewhere that just a lot of people like to go for their off time, and you happen to live there too, definitely expect that people are going to want to see you while they're there.
With that said, also remember that when people are coming to their vacation spot, that that is their vacation. And so if you go into it thinking that every time somebody comes down, they're going to want to be able to see you or they're going to be able to make time for you, then you might be setting yourself up for some disappointment when, it is their vacation and they have plans as well.
And then I will say this last piece, I didn't really anticipate it all happening, but as the kids make more friends, as they get more involved in school, again, we're in this amazing place that has these great theme parks and everything, and they are wanting to go to theme parks. So Aiden his friends have asked him to go to Universal multiple times, which is great, except there again, we are driving him to Universal, dropping him off to be with his friends and their families, and then going back and picking him up, and then we are, filling time, but that means we're finding stuff to do, and then we're gonna be in the theme parks, and so, by default, that extends the social circle a little bit.
Until he drives, at least.
And gets a car, because he's not driving our car.
It's been something that we were more surprised with than we were expecting to be, but it's been such a welcome thing, and I love getting to pop over to Disney Springs and meet up with somebody for drinks or for dinner, or pop in a park and just say hi, and or get to do a couple of things for a few hours. That amount of socialization it's so fun to have this different than just trying to schedule going to people's houses or maybe parties at people's houses or those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's more effortless here. So it just flows. And because, at least for the last few months, anyone that wants to see us also has the same loves that we do. It's
so it's really easy.
It's natural. It's hey, do you want to hang out for an hour or two or whatever at this amazing place that you moved there to be next to? And you're like, yeah, I was going to be there anyway. Absolutely. Let's do this. So all that being said, if you see us in the parks, please walk up and say hello. We love being social. I love being social. It just doesn't come as easy to me as it does, I need to recharge the internal batteries a little bit. So we wanted to make sure that everyone understands when you come here, it will raise your social circle.
Definitely will. It's funny because it raises that social circle even whenever you're coming here really with very few or maybe none, already made established friends. And so I think that's the more surprising part.
Yeah, and the weather is so nice here a lot of the year, and so you're not hibernating in a house for 3-4 months in the winter, and people are just out and about, and people are very friendly because it's sunny and wonderful and beautiful, and so you also meet people that way, and there's this whole group culture of people that are Disney fans that tend to migrate together, and so it's wonderful. It's the weather's fine. Come on down.
Yep. All right, so if you like what you see on our channel, please hit that like button and subscribe so that you can follow all of our adventures while we're here. We do the dining reviews on Thursdays. Those come out every Thursday, and we have the goal of eating at every property on every restaurant on Disney property, and then we will expand into Universal as well.
We will see you on the next video.